Yo, what's up? I'm Brian here, doing another video, and today I am fairly convinced that Hasbro is putting off a HasLab Primus, because every time they hint or we get a rumor that, hey, maybe Primus is down the road, it turns out to be something else. Great. But for this, in 2025, we got the HasLab project. So 2024 was the Omega Prime, and we're getting that in fall 2025. For this one, it is going to be Leo Kaiser, the 6-part combiner, and this isn't the first time we actually got Leo Kaiser in Generations. Going back maybe a decade ago, we had a multi-pack with the Leo Kaiser. I believe it came with 1 Legends, 4 Deluxes, and a Voyager, and that was mostly just repaints of other characters that we already got. I believe there was like a nose cone or a Brawl repaint, another Brawl repaint, Air Raid, some other jet, and then the main torso was Skylynx, which was kind of weird because with Skylynx, his robot mode is more animalistic, and that doesn't really represent Leozak. But I guess they're going for it again, and these are going to be custom made. I think they're going to be roughly around Voyager class height, and there are some concerns that people are having, and we'll touch up on that in this video. This is going to be about $300 USD, and then they're also putting another $15 on it. It's like a surcharge, which some people are upset by. I don't think that's really the biggest deal. I mean, if you're willing to pay 300 bucks, I guess 15 is not really a big deal, but maybe that's just my look into it. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the individual components. So this one is Leozak. Well, actually, it's Leozak's chest. So they all have a animal that would form the chest. This is based on the original components and original toys. And these were originally called Breast Force, but I think they call them Chest Force now. Which, I mean, that makes sense why they decided to opt out. But this guy has a little animal thing. I like the little wings on the side. It's just a basic figure and it will plug into the chest. There is the Leozak alt mode. And Leozak is the easiest one to remember because Leo Kaiser, Leozak, there you go. And I do like the color scheme. I like the gray. I like the cyan. I kind of wish that they eventually do. I believe he has a sister. I think it was in one of the comics. So it'd just be nice to kind of have the two, together. But I do like the yellow on the wings. I think the white might be a little too much. And you could definitely see that that is a lot of robot underneath. But you gotta realize that this is going to be the main component torso for the combiner itself, so it's not going to look 100% perfect. I know what people are saying, oh, but it's a HasLab project, so it doesn't really need a budget, and that's true, but it is still a Hasbro engineered figure. It still has to play well, enough for people relatively to, be able to interact with it. And honestly, after hearing the nightmare that Unicron could be, I'm over it. I'm not really too bothered by it. I do also like the red cockpit. I believe that's from the original design, so, I'm good with that. And then taking a look at his robot mode, it's very bulky on the torso. I don't know what toy it exactly reminds me of, but it reminds me of something from the Generations line. I do love the big wings. That reminds me of Jetfire, especially the classics Jetfire. I love the teal that just goes out like that. I like the fact that the chest gives it a kind of like a darker teal or turquoise around the sides. I think that looks nice. The head sculpt looks cool with the fanned out sides. Yeah, I actually like how this one turns out. Anyways, moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at the next component, which, yes, I do actually have to look up the name. This is Skyhawk, and he's got a bird that looks like Laserbeak, except with the giant peg on the top there. I do like the black head. I do like the feathers on the back. But, yeah, especially with the color scheme, it definitely looks like Laserbeak. Take a look at the jet mode. I actually really like how this one turns out. I like the yellow wings. I like the white around it. I like how simple it feels. Now, what I don't like is the fact that the intakes at the bottom there stick out way too far. But aside from that, I mean, I also don't mind that because it doesn't really make the kibble underneath look as, I don't want to say obnoxious, but out of place, I guess. But yeah, the color scheme, it's very simple. It transforms into a jet, and I'm fine with that. Taking a look at the robot mode, I think it's nice and slim. One thing you'll notice is that the underside of the arms is hollow. And you can see the ball joint right there, and I imagine that's for the transformation. It would be nice if that got filled out, especially considering it is a HasLab project. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I think for something like this, they should have filled it out, but I don't know how this is going to transform. I don't know how it's going to combine, so maybe there is a functionality purpose as to why they couldn't do that. Or maybe they wanted to cut down a little bit just so that the price isn't as obnoxious, but I don't know. I do like the yellow. It looks like a beak on top of the head, the yellow highlights on the knees. I think the chest fits in perfectly. So yeah, this one looks pretty good. Anyways, moving on. This is... Who is this? This is... Come on, show me. I think this is Hellbat, which would make sense considering that bat looks like it's from hell. It's got a demon face on it, the red eyes, it's menacing, but I like the dark blue on the sides. The Decepticon logos look pretty good. And then taking a look at his jet mode, and this one actually does remind me of the Combiner Wars, I think it was Skydive figure, especially with the smaller wings. You got the rockets on the side there. Same thing with the intakes, they kind of push out to the side. But I think this one is fine because you can see the fins on the side there that overlap the shoulders. So it kind of looks more like it's built into the toy. I like the red canopy, and again, the yellow and white looks pretty good. Taking a look at the robot mode, he wants a nice big hug. I love the wings drooping down like that. I think that looks pretty cool. I love the head sculpt here. I love the contrast between the gray and the dark blue. I think that's very pleasant with this figure. And, yeah, he just looks nice to me. He looks nice and tall as well. Anyways, moving on, we've got a lot to talk about here. So, who is this? I believe this is the lower body, which is... I'm getting two different names, but it's Jaruga? Aruga, come on, pretty mama. Anyways, so yeah, this is the little beast figure for it. I guess it's a jaguar, but yeah, red, gray, it looks fine. These are very basic, so not much to talk about here, but he transforms into this rocket doom buggy thing, and I love the all mode. You could definitely tell that the back is the legs, but I like the design of the front there. It kind of reminds me of one of the Micromasters from the Siege line. Or no, it was actually from the Earthrise line. But yeah, those red tip rockets, the gold windows, the open wheels. I think this one looks fantastic. Honestly, this one's my favorite. And even for the robot mode, it's definitely got a boxy torso, but I like the wheels sticking out of the legs like that. I think he's the most filled out because the hands, while the underarms are exposed, it's on the bottom side, not the side here. And, yeah, the chest seems to fit in very well for this toy, especially. So, yeah, I definitely like this one. Taking a look at the next one, I believe, is this one... Let me check. Okay, so this one is... Killbison. Okay, there we go. I should have recognized the names, but anyways, yeah, he transforms into a little bison dude. You can see that with the horns at the top there. I think it looks nice. Taking a look at the tank mode. This thing looks like... UPS box that I laid out for my cat to jump in with the turret at the top. You can see the treads, and yes, I don't know why I said it like that, top. That was kind of weird. But anyways, you can see the treads at the bottom, you can see the yellow on the sides, but yeah, it's just, it's too much of a block. There's nothing really specific that says, oh, this is definitely a tank, except for the turret at the top, but it just looks like a chunk of mud. Someone put a gun on top, and I gotta say, the robot mode... I don't know. The chunky legs just look a little off to me. You know what this feels like? This feels like a knockoff toy I would find at a dollar store. And I know that is going to set people apart and make people furious with me. I just see that with the kibble on the arms and then how chunky the legs are with the sides. I mean, the kibble doesn't really flow naturally with the legs itself. So, I don't think this one necessarily works. I guess the side treads could be seen as shields, but I don't know. I like the color scheme, I like the giant gun on the back, but I think this one is not my favorite. Anyways, moving on. This one, I did remember the name, but then I forgot about it. It is Drillhorn, so this is some sort of... I guess it's meant to be maybe a rhino, but it's a very flat rhino. I mean, it's got the horn at the front there. And taking a look at the drill mode. Now, this one I do like. I love the drill at the front. I like how it's on two different sections. Yeah, it's got the hinge over top, so it probably won't rotate, but I do like how that's formed. I like how in the body you got a specific canopy at the middle there, but then the arms flow with the legs and actually create a nice motion to that. The treads are very distinct from the top section. It doesn't look like it's just slapped on. So as far as this drill mode is concerned, that looks fine. The robot mode, however, it's kind of the same thing with the other guy, and especially with this because the head looks very out of place. There's a lot of dark colors. You've got the blue, you've got the black, and then his head is just bright blue and gray. I mean, some light gray is thrown around here and there, but it just looks super out of place because nothing really is specifically light gray. It's just with accents of light gray. Also, another thing I wanted to point out with these tank guys is I don't like how the arms are attached. You can see that the arms will be able to rotate naturally or swing out, but then the hinge to rotate is down here. So when you rotate them back, the shoulder is going to come down like that. I don't think that really works. I don't know. I'm very hesitant on these tank dudes, but this one does have the best tank or drill, whatever, alt mode. Anyways, moving on, let's go ahead and talk about the combiner form. Now, initially when I look at the front, I don't mind how this is designed. One thing that I don't like is how the legs are formed when they sink in like that, I should say. But I think for a combiner, it feels a little different because usually you have the cars or the jets flat to the front. So having them on the side, I'm kind of into it. Another thing that people were upset with is the fact that the waist is going to be a separate piece from this entire combiner section. And to that I'd say, I feel like if they did, it would have more restrictions. A lot of people are complaining about the hollow arms and certain other things. So I feel like if it was going to integrate into the main torso characters, then you're going to deal with a lot of problems with the engineering. And also, it's a more secure part of the body. You're not going to deal with, you know, too many problems like some of the Combiner Wars figures. Like, I don't know, Menasor had some issues with his leg transformation, so having just proper made legs, I don't mind. This isn't the skeletal transformation. I think that's what people are really put off by, is some people are upset with the skeletal transformation. I gotta point out, transformations with combiners, having additional parts to be able to combine is not a new thing. In fact, that's been going on since the first combiners in Transformers Generation 1. So I don't know why that's specifically a problem here. The only thing I don't like is when you have it off, the only thing you could really do is put it on the car mode of the black car, and that's pretty much it. But otherwise, I just would rather have something secure, and I think that's fine. Also, I wanted to point out that the prototype that was revealed for this, they showed images of that, and if you rotate it from the back, you can see that a guy is just sitting there like this. I believe that you will be able to fix that up, maybe even just rotate the head or fold in the arms. It won't just look like a guy sitting there. It will still be kind of obvious that it is a guy, but it won't be as bad. Also, the side profile some people don't like. I'm fine with it. A lot of it is just the car folded up. I'm okay because, you know, parts of that car has to go somewhere. I do like the upper torso. I like how the wings are sprayed out like that, and you will be able to move that out of the way for the shoulder, so that's good. I like the kind of symmetry on the shoulders, how it has the wings on the side and then the tail fins on the arms. I do like the different colors. You can see dark blue here, then red and yellows and browns on this side, so that looks pretty cool. I think it looks fine. It could be a lot better, but for what it is, it's okay. And then taking a look at this, I wanted to show off that yes, he will be able to use the gun from the, what is it, Killbison? Yeah, Killbison figure. And yeah, I think that looks nice. I would like to also use the drill. I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, this is going to be a HasLab project, so they need 10,000 backers. The last time I checked, and it was around 4,000 backers so far. Sorry, something was in my throat. I think it's around 4,000 backers right now. But the tiers that you can unlock, the first one is going to be this Cobra guy. I can't remember his name now. I'm so bad with names. Death Cobra, that's what it was. So Death Cobra is an additional figure that will be able to combine with the Leo Kaiser. It can form this cannon thing, but you could also swap it with one of the arms. So I thought that was pretty cool that we're actually technically getting 7 figures if this is sold at the point where they can unlock that tier list. And I love the helicopter mode. I like the green, I like the yellow, the black is nice. Definitely Kibble at the bottom, but that actually makes sense for one of the modes. And yeah, I can't wait to spin that helicopter rotor, assuming if I even bothered getting this. Take a look at the robot mode. I like that Cobra-style chest in the middle there. I think that's pretty cool. I believe that's another one of the breast formers because you can see the tail fold into there. I love the head sculpt and how it's got the signs right there. The green and yellow just really suits this. I'm a sucker for something that's green and black, so, you know, this definitely sells it for me. And then taking a look at this, that's how it's going to combine with the shoulder if you want everyone attached, but you can, again, switch one of the arms for this guy. And when I initially saw the photos, I thought, oh, it's just a bonus helicopter because they forgot to really produce any of the robot mode images. So I had to really search for some of them, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool that at least they're including that. The next tier is a bunch of weapons, so you'll be able to attach these spears, but they will be able to split off into a bunch of different weapons, so then you can create these chain spear things. I think those are pretty cool. They're like nunchucks. I think that's awesome, and I believe for the last tier we've got is this giant purple stand. So much like the original HasLab Omega Prime, where that last tier was a stand, that's also going for this. And some people might be upset by that because, oh, the last tier is a stand. That's not really a big deal. Okay, but the first tier is going to be a whole nother figure. I'd rather that be the first tier because if we reach almost to the second tier, we're still guaranteed that 7 bot. So I think that's pretty cool. So with that out of the way, what do you guys think? Please comment below, let me know. I know some people are hesitant about it, some people like it. I'm definitely mixed here. I'm gonna say that I'm not sure if I'm gonna pitch into this because I don't know. I'm still waiting on my HasLab Omega Prime. I want to see how that turns out. This is super expensive, and I'm not sure if I really want to spend the money on this, or there's a couple of figures that I didn't get from last year that I would like to catch up on. But with that out of the way, what do you guys think? Comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.